Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Friday, March the 22nd, race number 8 at Aqueduct. We're going 6 furlongs. It's an optional claimer for fillies and mares. You can bet the card with a new DRFBets account. When you sign up at bets.drf.com, you double your action. You bet 100, you get 100 as a sign-up bonus. Let's take a look at the field for Friday's race of the day. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post-position order, beginning with our morning line favorite, the number 1 Bluegrass Jamboree. Mike, you got to tell me where that last race came from. From a Beyer speed figure standpoint, far and away the best race of Bluegrass Jamboree's career. It came in her 5-year-old debut. She beat a couple of next out winners. All in all, I thought she got a pretty nice trip. She sat in the pocket turning into the stretch, eased into the two-path, split horses, and then devastated that field despite drifting out a bit late.
Yeah, a couple things about that race. I mean, she had always been a pretty good horse. I think maybe a little bit of an overachiever prior to that. But it's clearly the best race she's ever run. As you say, she got a perfect trip in there. She did ride a very strong rail almost the entire way and then just crushed that field in the stretch. It was a really strong finish from her. And they also better that race, Dan. Like, they kind of knew that she was going to win that race. I mean, she was a relatively bigger price on the morning line, but they made her the favorite. She ran to the backing. It was not a particularly strong field. I think she's facing a much stronger field this time. And so I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, do you think she's going to run that well again? Because if she does, she may just win this race. And do you want to take 2-1 on her again? Because it feels like that's the kind of price she might be in here. I'm not sure that I would want too short a price on her against this deal, because this is a tougher spot.
It took her 6 tries to get through that open non-winners of 1 other than condition. We'll see if she gets through this tougher 2 other than condition first time out of the box. The number 2 is Liz Mimi, going out for a very good trainer in Jeremiah Engelhardt. This horse did not run very well at Laurel, to say the least, finishing last in her last couple of races, but I guess she's getting a little bit of a class drop if you believe the 3X's at Laurel are slightly better than the 2X's here. Last time out in against She's Stunning, a horse that came back to run second in an allowance race at Parks with an 82 Beyer. I got to see a wake up before I can play her, even at a big price.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, she's run some good races in New York in the past. You don't have to worry about her shipping back in, but those last 2 races are disappointing, even if they are against some pretty good fields. And it's not like the races that she was running here in New York, last year and the year before, make her a strong contender. I think she could get a piece of this, but I don't really want her on top.
Another horse chipping in from the Mid-Atlantic region is the number 3, Assail. And like the number 2, Liz Mimi, this horse lacks sort of a winning profile. Liz Mimi, 8 times second from 25 starts. Assail, 10 times second from 23 lifetime starts. And, well, that's where she finished in her most recent start, in for a $35,000 tag at Laurel. I just wonder if these are a little too tough.
Yeah, I thought the same way about her. I mean, she's got some speed. I suppose that could make her a little dangerous, but since she broke her maiden at this distance back in 2016, all of her wins, 5 or 5.5 furlongs, she hasn't done anything at 6 furlongs since then. I wonder about her in a race like this going this distance.
Was it simply the wet track that moved up the 4 DJ's favorite last time out? She popped a co-career best Beyer speed figure of 82 that day. It is worth noting she's 3 for 4 on wet tracks, 1 for 7 on a fast dirt track. Or is it simply a situation that Linda Rice has finally figured out a basically newly turned 4-year-old. She'll be making her 3rd start as a 4-year-old on Friday. And I liked the race she ran last time out. I mean, she was on a pretty quick pace and kept going.
Yeah, I think it may be a little bit of both of those things, Dan. And she did run well last time. I mean, to me, it was more of a game win than it was anything else, because she looked like she was in pretty deep water at the top of the stretch, but she managed to find a way to come back in that race. It's worth pointing out that she ran an excellent race 2 starts back at a mile when, again, involved in a really fast pace and only giving it up late. So I feel like in a lot of ways last time was the time to have her. I think she's a contender in here, but I like other horses.
Let's talk about a back classer in here at a price, and that's the 5 Palladian Bridge. And I think an argument could be made, Mike, that she's a little bit dirtied up coming into this spot.
Yeah, I think that she is too. I mean, the last 2 races and Stakes Company, probably just a little too tough for her. She didn't run poorly last time, but that race was just too tough for her. Even the race 3 starts back against Dawn the Destroyer, she just wasn't going to win that race. She fits a lot better in the spot. She's got the back races. She has a very versatile running style. So even though you've seen her off the pace recently, she can be more forward as she has to be. I think she's going to get a good trip in this race, and I think this is the right kind of spot, and she might be the right price.
The number 6 in here is Shortcakes. We take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. They've got Shortcakes out there, but they got a couple of horses that could be close to the pace. I certainly could see a Sale. I certainly could see DJ's favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually wrest the early lead away from Shortcakes, and Shortcakes' jockey Kendrick Carmouche, who is very aggressive, opts to rate from off the pace because those were the tactics that resulted in her win in that extra heat stakes in March of 2018. Shortcakes last time out, no match for DJ's favorite when battling on the lead. Again, I think they rate this time around. The question is, can she ever get back to that extra heat race? Because that's really the one race that makes her a strong contender.
Yeah, that's the real question with her. Is she going to be able to run back to those races? Because she was running really good races on this track early last year, and she had that long layoff, obviously. And since she's come back 4 starts, I think she's run okay, but she hasn't been able to run quite that well. I do like her getting back to 6 from 7 fronts. And I think 7's a little too far for her. She just doesn't finish that strongly in her races. So she's going to need a perfect trip and to run back to her very best race. But if she does that, she's a contender here.
The 7 is Annie Rocks, and this mare has been stuck at this class level for quite some time, which makes it really interesting that she was taken for 32 last time out by Rudy Rodriguez in a race that was won by a Rudy horse, a horse that came back to finish second in an N1X at Laurel with a 66 Beyer speed figure. And then Rudy just jumps her right back up to this level. It's a pretty confident move.
It really is. I keep looking at her, and she's got races far back in her past that would make her a contender in a race like this. I keep looking at her, Dan, and wondering, we got turf season right around the corner. I wonder if they claimed her thinking, we'll give her a race here up in class, make sure we don't lose her, and then get her on the turf, because I think she might be a better turf horse, but it's very interesting that she's in this race.
Let's take a look at our top selections for Friday's race of the day. Interested in your thoughts on the outside horse. My top pick, the 8 Pause for the Cause, who earned a big fig in her final start as a 3-year-old filly. She didn't break that day, and she was just better than those horses. It was a good effort. She was no match for Catherine the Wise, who's a pretty good New York bred 2-back. And last time out on the Broadway, she finished ahead of Palladian Bridge, and I just didn't think Rajiv was very aggressive with her early. I think he could have hustled her into the race more. He ended up getting in tight in the early furlong or so, and after that, the trip was fine, and she finished second best to Holiday Disguise in a race where the 5th place finisher came back to win with a 91 Beyer. I can understand anyone that says, listen, these decreasing Beyers are a bit concerning for Pause for the Cause, but I think a good outside stalking trip is coming.
I mean, I agree with all that stuff. I know that Bluegrass Jamboree is the favorite on the morning line, but I think in a lot of ways you could make an argument that this is the horse to beat in here, because her form really has turned around and she's getting the class relief she probably needs. If I'm being honest, I'll just say I'm not a big fan of hers. But I know that she has a race in her that could make her really tough in this race. And as you say, she's got a great post on the outside. It feels like a really good trip's coming for her. We'll see what kind of price she is. I don't really want her at too short a price.
But you're getting the price on Palladian Bridge, who is running at the end of the Broadway. Seems to be a little bit dirtied up. She's 8-1 on the morning line. You're switching back to Manny Franco, who was aboard for the most recent win on Palladian Bridge. Give me numbers.
Yeah, she's just the kind of horse that I can really take at a price in this race. I went 5-1-8. They're really the only 3 horses I was interested in.
I'm going to take a shot with the 8 in here. 8-1-4 for me in the feature race at Aqueduct on Friday. It's race number 8. You can play the card with a DRFBets account. Again, double your action when you sign up at bets.drf.com. With DRFBets, it's as easy as ready, set, bet. An approximate post time for the feature at Aqueduct on Friday, 5:21 Eastern. Good luck.